Hey there, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and here I am headed to Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland for another new comic book day. Now, there's some pretty good books coming out this week, although I didn't do a lot of prep work, so I'm not sure what is all on my list. But once I get there, I always take my pre-order list, what I ordered 2 to 3 months ago, with me, just to double check to see what I pre-ordered and what I didn't pre-order. So once I get down to Third Eye, I'll do some filming while I'm in the store like I normally do. And then we'll get back home, bag and board everything, and then we'll do a nice little show and tell. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I just finished up at Third Eye Comics at Annapolis, Maryland here for New Comic Book Day. Had a great time like I normally do. I went in completely unprepared today. I really didn't do my research to see which books I was missing, so I had to do it on the fly. But I did pick up some pretty good books. Let me get home, I'll bag and board everything, and we'll do a little show and tell.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, everybody, I made it back home, bagged and boarded all the new comics, so let's just get it right into it. First up this week for me was Aliens versus Avengers. I usually don't go in for these Aliens versus books. These are completely what-if type stories, but it's always interesting to see what they're going to do with this. And I haven't had a chance to read it, but I thumbed through it, and it seems like there's a lot of build-up in this. Kind of excited about reading this. You guys would definitely have to let me know what you think of this book for this week. Also up this week was The Amazing Spider-Man number 56. Now, I've already got the regular cover pre-ordered with my pre-order service, but I kind of like this Disco Dazzler variant cover right here. I'm not sure who the artist was. Originally, I thought it was Lobos, but it's definitely not Lobos. Thought this was pretty cool. Definitely Mary Jane fits the flavor of a Disco Dazzler, I would say. That's a really nice cover right there. And then a book that was not on my radar even this morning when I was getting ready to go, or a few months ago when I was doing my pre-order, was the Marvel 85th Anniversary book right here. And I just slept on this right here. You've got a lot of different creators who are contributing to this. You've got a lot of different variant covers. This is regular cover A, but I definitely wanted to pick up the Scotty Young one right here. It basically takes every one of... Now let's move this back. It takes every one of the individual characters that he's been doing over the last few months at Marvel, all those covers that have come out of all these characters. It's the same artwork, but it's combined into this giant double cover. It goes to the back. It's a wraparound. And I thought this was pretty cool. This is a book I will definitely take to a Scotty Young signing at some point. And speaking of variant covers, I did pick up this variant cover for the new NYX number 2. And that's a pretty spectacular looking cover of the new Wolverine X-23 right there. And I also picked up the Maria Wolf cover right here. Usually I'm not a fan of her artwork. There's something about the grittiness that I don't like. It's sort of like the Daniel Warren Johnson artwork. I'm not the biggest fan of it. There's a kind of a rough grittiness to it. I just don't really like. But for whatever reason, on this cover in particular, it actually works really well. And if I get a chance to see her at some future con, I will definitely take this book in particular to get signed. I know that she was down at Heroes Con, but I couldn't go down to that convention this year. So we'll put this in the pile of books that will potentially get signed at some point. Next up was a book that was not on my radar. Chasm, Curse of Cain. I don't know much about this, but I think it's interesting you bring into the fold another Cain from the past. We're talking about Spider-Man clones here. So I took this one just by chance. I want to see what's going on with this. I'm always curious to see what former plot lines they're going to exploit and try to do with something today. I doubt that it'll be that good, but I picked up cover A on that. And issue number 6 of the Ultimate X-Men, Peach Momoko's run on this. I will be quite honest, I am stopping on getting this Ultimate X-Men title. I'm not really been much of a fan of this book. It is, they should have called it something else, but it's definitely not the X-Men. I mean, eventually may get around to it, but we're a half a year into this, 6 issues in, and no sign of any resemblance to an X-Men title at all. Just call it something else, that's all. It would have been a perfectly fine book, but not. It's definitely not an X-Men title at this point. And over in DC, I did pick up the second issue to Nice House by the Sea by James Tynion. This is a follow-up to Nice House on the Lake. I picked up issue 1 a month ago. James Tynion is actually going to be at Third Eye Comics this following weekend. So I'm going to take this issue, issue number 1, and I've got a handful of other issues, specifically Batman and some Something Killing Children books that I want to get signed. So I'll enjoy that. You know, I'll put an episode out about that at some point. I also picked up this cover. It is also for a possible signing at the Baltimore Comic-Con. It is the new Frankenstein. This is the Universal Frankenstein book from Boom Studios. This is cover B. It's Joshua Middleton, and he is going to be at the Baltimore Comic-Con. And as much as I would love to get him to sign that Batgirl cover that's become so famous, that is a pretty expensive book to pick up. I am going for some lesser things, and I think if I can find that Creature from the Black Lagoon cover from issue number 1, I think I'll find that too. But I've got to dive into all the new issues that I've been picking up this year to be able to find that. I'm not really well organized. And then the last book I picked up for this particular new comic book week was the new Berserker number 1, The Lost Book of B. Honestly, guys, I was not going to continue down the road of Berserker. As much as I love that book, I went heavy early on that book, variant covers, getting things graded.
And then because of the long delays on that book, it just kind of petered out. All the excitement for that book, it just went away. And now they're back with a new book and some new stories. And I'm honestly, at this point, I'm kind of done with it. It's one of those, do we need more stories at this point? What we need is the movie. What we need, the animation. We need something other than this, the comics. But I really wasn't sure this was going to be the way, but you still got Keanu Reeves, Matt Kindt, you've still got Ron Garney doing the work on this. And I wasn't going to pick it up. I wasn't going to go buy into it again. But when I saw this cover with the combination of Erica from Something Skilled in Children with B here, honestly, this right here was a great cover. I love this artwork. I got to look up and see who this is. If I remember by the time I do the editing on the video, this was completely a point of purchase right here. I just love this cover right here. I don't know who did the art, but that's some spectacular stuff with two of my favorite characters. I say favorite characters after I just poo-pooed on the whole book, but to be honest with you, it's not about the character, it's about the longevity of the book, how long it's been taking to get these books out, how long it took them to wrap up the first 12 issues, kind of put a damper on my enthusiasm for the book. But this cover was spectacular. But guys, that is it today. Short video. Hope you enjoyed the footage I shot from Third Eye Comics. If you guys get a chance, definitely check out that shop. That is the main flagship station of Third Eye Comics. If you go to their website, you can find out all the other locations, and hopefully you give them a visit at some point. But again, I hope you enjoyed the footage. If you enjoyed today's video, though, definitely give me a like, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any of the episodes I put out each and every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. All right, guys, definitely leave me a comment in the comment section. I'm always forgetting all my plugs right here, but definitely leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what books you picked up for this new comic book day. And that's it. I'm done. You guys have a great day, and remember, every comic has a story.